Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. First and foremost, we like to give all honor, glory to Yahweh. By Hashem Mashiach, woman like Yahushai. It is say Yahweh being named the Heavenly Father. Salakia, who the world will call God. And Yahushai being named his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Alright, so this is Brother Kasadi from WFI Jersey, Philly. And we touching on how did the Northern Kingdom come to the Americas. Right, shalom to everyone that's, tuning in. We up over here, what is this, 8:46 on the so-called East Coast. Shalom to the mighty brother Jeremiah from WFI Cleveland. Right, everyone go subscribe to WFI Cleveland on YouTube. Everyone go subscribe to the Cold Cuts channel on YouTube. Cold Cuts with a Z. Right, Esau shut the other channel down. We back in it though. All right, so someone had asked, someone hit the DMs and asked how did a Northern Kingdom come to the Americas? And it's a topic we, when we out there teaching and whatnot, one of the ways we can show Northern Kingdom how they fit the prophecies of the being the Israelites is by showing a prophecy on how they came to America, right? The so-called natives, they weren't here. I mean, they were here. They're the first ones here. That's why they're called the natives. But it's not the original land they were in, if you got ears to hear, right? Likewise with the so-called Hispanics. Right, so we're gonna touch on it, man. Get this real quick. All right, and Slakia, like I said, definitely check out the WFI Cold Cuts channel on YouTube, man. We're trying to get that built up. Lord willing, we get 1,000 subscribers, and then we can go ahead and start going live on there again. Right, the old rapid fire Q&As by Nikequam, all the live streams that the brother Azariah, Slakia Ariah does, right? So y'all want to go check them things out. And shalom to the brother Azariah from WF5 Baltimore. All right, so we in there. We're going to start off with the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 9 I'll start at. It says, they shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Right, so a lot of times when we read the scripture, Israel is synonymous with the Northern Kingdom. And when you read Judah, it's synonymous with the Southern Kingdom. Right, so the Lord is saying Ephraim is my firstborn. We know that's not literally the firstborn, meaning that's the inheritance. Ephraim gets the inheritance of the embodiment of Northern Kingdom. Right, shalom, shalom. And Northern Kingdom, or Israel, I should say Northern Kingdom, is predominantly makes up the most tribes of Northern Kingdom, or Israel. Right? There's 9 to 10 tribes. 10 if you include Dan, 9 if you include just Ephraim, Simeon, Manasseh, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Issachar, right? And if I miss one, right, Zebulun, right? That's about 9 tribes right there. Reading on though, it says, hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off. And we're going to declare this word in the isles afar off because Israel is scattered over all places of the earth. So, the Lord willing, this live will be saved, and Lord willing, I'll upload it to the Cold Cuts. Right? But reading on. And again, like I mentioned, Israel is scattered in everywhere, man. That's a prophecy. Right? Israel's supposed to be scattered everywhere. Right? This is 2 Ezra chapter 2 and verse 7. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. So the Lord said we're going to be scattered abroad amongst the heathen. Right? That's why you get in the so-called New Testament, the so-called Gentiles, which are the Israelite foreigners in Northern Kingdom who didn't understand that they were Israelites anymore. Because of process of time being scattered and being put off from your heritage, and your father not knowing his heritage and losing his heritage and passing it down to his son and his son's son and his son's son, you're going to get a generation not knowing who the hell they are. Or generations like we living with right now. And we was Israelite foreigners, man. We was brought over here to America, didn't know who we were. Right? So we'll be the so-called Gentiles. All you that's watching this, you are the Gentiles of the so-called New Testament. You didn't know who you were. That's why I tell you that in the book of Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, man. We was living as the course of this world. Reading on. It says, let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant. So Israel in general, not just Southern Kingdom, not just Northern Kingdom. Israel as a whole, we despise the covenant of the Lord. We didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. So this as a process of repercussion, I should say, for us not keeping the commandments of the Lord. One of the curses is that will be scattered in all the earth. Let's get another precept on this. Let's go to Baruch, the 2nd chapter. All right. So this Baruch chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us. Right. So we're supposed to be the foot, right, or the tail, I should say, in every nation across the earth. Every nation. Israel has been led away captive into every nation, right? Just look up the sub-Saharan slave trade. Look up the Silk Road slave trade. Look up the transatlantic slave trade, right? That's literally in a slave route to every nation of the earth. All three of those routes. Reading on. And that, not just that, we was in times past captive to Assyria, to the Egyptians, to the Babylonians, to the Persians and the Medes, to the damn Grecians, to the Romans, right? And now today, the damn Americans, man. Damn devils. Reading on. In every other nation. Reading on. It says, to be reproached in desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord has scattered them. So we are a reproach unto all the heathen and all the people that's round about us, man. Every nation, man. So when we trying to break down how the Northern Kingdom, and we still got brothers saying the so-called Hispanics are not Israelites. You got to be a damn fool, man. The Lord just said we're going to be scattered everywhere. How's that concept slip in your head? We scattered everywhere. And it's very plain once we go through the prophecy on how they got over here to America. All right, but I'm going to get another precept. Somebody said Belgium. That's right. Belgium. We're scattered in Belgium, scattered in damn Scotland. You name it, we there. Israel's everywhere. I'm kind of rhyming accidentally. Let's get another precept. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13 and verse 3. It says, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he has scattered us among them. So the Lord said, we're going to confess the Most High's name amongst the Gentiles. If we amongst the Gentiles, and we living like the Gentiles, then won't we consider Gentiles? The Lord in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, he also called us heathen. Right? Get another precept on this. So yeah, we've been scattered everywhere, man. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 19. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries, according to their way, and according to the things, to their doings, I judged them. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, these are the people of the Lord, and are going forth out of his land, but I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. Right, so it just told you, man. All Israel was scattered, but the house of Israel, they profaned the name of the Lord. So anywhere he went, right, being led away to Assyria, right, being brought over here to the damn Americas, and having the Spanish come and roll over them in 1491 and 1492, right, on down. Right, so that's what we're going to get into, man. We're going to get into exactly how they got over here. So we're going to kick it off with the book of 2 Kings. The book of 2 Kings, right, the 17th chapter. And it's important you go up, you can't know where you're going, right, or the outcome if you don't know where you've been at, man. Right? You got to know what's going on. You got to know the history. Don't just look at the book of 1st, 2nd Kings, you might want to read 1st, 2nd Samuel, because you read about David and whatnot. But don't just not go into 1st and 2nd Kings, man. You gotta go into the history of our righteous forefathers, right? The kings, the rulers, right? And this is 2nd Kings chapter 17, and I'm gonna start at verse 1, right? 2nd Kings 17 and 1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Right? In Samaria is the chief so-called capital, if you will, right, for Ephraim, man. Let me get a precept. right? This is 1 Kings chapter 16. 1 Kings 16 and 24, right? 1 Kings 16 and 24. It says, and he brought the hill, I said 22. But the people that followed Omri prevailed against the people that followed Timnah, the son of Gidnath. So Tibnah died and Omri reigned, right? Omri is a king of Northern Kingdom at the time. In the 30th and first year of Asa, king of Judah, began Omri to reign over Israel, 12 years. It says 6 years reigned he in Tirzah. And he brought the hill Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he had built after the name of Shemer, owner of the hill Samaria. And when you look into that, Samaria goes into the Hebrew Shamar or Shawamar, which means hill of watchers, right? Watchers, right? So this is actually a chief hill for a lot of the porters and watchers to be able to see the invading troops, right? Israel was kind of geographical, man. We understood how to use the earth to our advantage, right? Like we're doing right now, right? These different prophecies that's written. We got the it's a few of these stones that's out there. I forget some of them names, but it's a few stones we found in so-called Puerto Rico, so-called Mexico, that still have the Hebrew or Paleo-Hebrew writings on there, man. Now, if these Northern Kingdom, if the so-called Hispanics are not Israelites, then how the hell could we still have some of these stones in these different lands, man? All right? Madness. So let's go back to 2 Kings. This 2 Kings chapter 17, and we have verse 2. It says, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, right? Talking about Hosea. But not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Salmanasar, king of Assyria, and Hosea became his servant and gave him presents, right? Verse 4, and the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to So king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. So imagine this. Imagine you being a king over a whole land, right? Over all 9 tribes of Northern Kingdom, and you still being damn bound up in prison. The only reason that happens is because you ain't following the Lord, man. And even today, the so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, they're not following the Lord. They want to buck up. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to follow the leadership which the Most High put before them. Right? Let me get a precept. And we still doing this today, man. These are prophecies that show you who the hell Israel is, man. Israel's still going to be bucking up against the Lord. Israel's still not going to be getting down with the Lord. Right? Get a quick precept on this. This is 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 13. It says, yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Notwithstanding they will not hear, but hardened their necks, like to the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God. And we just had a brother, a so-called Latino brother, right? He just, I think the police just choked him out, man. I just put it on my story on Instagram, on my own personal Instagram account. They just damn choked him out. Why did that happen? Because he didn't listen to the Lord. Just like times past, his forefathers didn't believe in the Lord. They didn't get down with the Lord. They wanted to build up some damn golden calves and sacrifice to different idols. Come on, man. We still got our people in damn Santeria. All that other BS. Conjuring up the damn, their so-called forefathers. Come on, man. Your forefathers gonna get you put to death. You keep playing with the Lord. The Lord is sending prophets in these last days, man. The same prophets of old telling you the same thing you heard before. And the ones that's going to get down with it, that's the ones that's going to get salvation. The ones that want to rebel and create their own doctrine and come up with their own stuff and then do their own thing and can't bash and do X, Y, and Z, y'all not going to make it, man. And there's no inkling or feeling in our hearts because y'all don't want to believe in the Lord. You were programmed to serve the Lord. So if you don't serve the Lord, we programmed to not get down with you. Just like you programmed not to get down with us. All right? Reading on. Verse 5. 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. Right? So he was up in the land of, it's like he was up in the land of Samaria besieging his land, man. I can imagine someone coming up in my house, just ransacking my house for 3 whole years. That should make you mad. You know that the Most High God is allowing this to happen, so it's your job to turn back to the Most High God. If you don't want to see your people destroyed, turn back to the Most High God right now, right, and keep these commandments, man. If you don't want to be destroyed, turn back to the Most High God, right? And the brother King Ecclesiastes said, and Shalom King, it says he made him an example. Let's keep these laws, statutes, and commandments or get put to death. As simple as that. You don't keep the commandments, you will die. You keep the commandments, you won't die. It's simple as that. It's get down or lay down. Right? Verse 6. It says, in the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria, took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and Habor by the river of Gozan in the cities of the Medes. Right? So in the 9th year of Hosea, Israel was taken away captive unto Samaria. They were exiled. Let's get a precept. Israel was exiled into Samaria. This is 2 Kings chapter 18 and verse 11. It says, I started at 10. And at the end of 3 years, they took it. Even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hosea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. Right? So those Sumerians, those original Sumerians, they're Israelites. All right. Now, of course, as a remnant, you don't take the whole, you don't even gonna take everybody, right? Even when Babylon came and besieged Judah, right? Jerusalem and whatnot, they still left a remnant over there, right? It was still decrees being made by Cyrus when the Persians and the Medes got into rulership, right, to build up Jerusalem and build up the temple. He gave a decree to Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, right? Reading on. And the king of Assyria did carry Israel, carry away Israel unto Assyria and put them in Halah and Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant and all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded, and would not hear them nor do them. Right. So Israel as a whole, Northern Kingdom as a whole, was exiled away from Samaria and away from the lands that they were in, and now was brought into Assyria. So with that being said, now we're going to pick up. Let's get another precept real quick. I'm going to go to Micah real quick. All right. With that being said, this prophecy actually picks up in another. There's 2 other prophecies that back up this prophecy. So let's go to the book of Micah, the 5th chapter. So this is Micah chapter 5 and verse 7. And I also saw that someone wanted a Micah 5 breakdown. Lord willing, we touch on that. All right. This is Micah chapter 5 and verse 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarried not for man, nor waited for the sons of men. So the Lord said the remnant of Jacob, the residue, they'll be in the midst of many people. They're going to be scattered abroad. Right? Reading on verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. All right, so that's how Israel is. We in the damn midst of, we in a damn valley of dry bones, man. We in a damn shadow of death. We in these different lands, scattered all abroad the earth, because we transgressed against the Lord. All right, so let me get it. Let's go into it. Let's go into 2nd Ezra 13th chapter. And it's historically documented that the so-called, Christopher Columbus, used, I believe, Luis de Torres, a so-called Moor at the time, which is just another word for black. He comes from the tribe of Judah, most likely. he used this man who was an eloquent Hebrew translator as well as a Spanish translator, and used him. He's a coon. Luis de Torres is a damn coon, a sellout who got down with Christopher Columbus, but the Lord used him to fulfill prophecy. Because, like I say, it's historically documented that Christopher Columbus used 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, to figure out where the so-called natives or so-called Northern Kingdom was, basically where they're scattered to. Actually, I'm gonna pull that up for you. All right, let me see if I can find this real quick. Slack. All right, bear with me. Luis de Torres, Christopher Columbus. All right, let me pull this up. All right, so here we go. Now we got this article pulled up. This is now I don't want to pull this video up though. But all right, let me see. All right, so it's not really an article that you can look at, but there's multiple different videos because basically it's found in Christopher Columbus' book. He has a book that he had written, and it documents that he used the so-called apocrypha, right, to make his voyage over here to the Americas in 1491 and 1492. Right, so you can look that up. Right, Christopher Columbus indeed uses the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and used the translator Luis de Torres to do so. Right, so look those things up, man. You got to get up in it, man. As a scholar, you can't just be, you got to be in the KJV, right? But you got to use these other sources as well, man. Don't go into other books. I'm not saying that, but you got to know what's going on, especially you men that teach. Right, because you gotta know the history. You gotta know it all for. You gotta be up in it, man. This is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and we have verse 40. 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which are carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. Right, which we just read. Right, and the brother said, Khan and Esau teach in school like Christopher Columbus stumbled upon and discovered his land by accident, but the whole time he knew where he was going and who he was searching for. That's right. Right, that's absolutely true. Right, reading on. It says, Salakia. It says, read it again, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which are carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So we just read this in 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, in the 6th verse. Right? How the northern kingdom was carried away out of Israel into the land of Assyria. So we reading is the prophecy on how they came from the land of Assyria and got their way over here to the Americas. Reading on. It says, verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. And where is never mankind dwelt? They call the so-called Western Hemisphere the New World. Christopher Columbus on his voyage, so-called, say he wanted to find the New World, right? Which is where a land or a set of lands that man never dwelt at. Man was always on the Eastern Hemisphere, right? You got so-called the land of Ham, you got the land of Shem, you got the land of Japhet and the Isles of Japhet, right? You never had man coming over here. That's why the so-called natives are considered natives. You know what native mean? Right? Let me look up native real quick. Definition of native. Right? All right, let's look this up. It says native, a person born in a specified place or associated with a birthplace or a place by birth, whether subsequently resident there or not. So it means no one was ever a resident there. right? It says indigenous, right? And indigenous meaning basically relative to you being the first ones at that land, first people, right? Indigenous, first people, aborigine, native, right? These are all different synonyms that you can look up. So the so-called Native Americans were the first ones in these lands. Let's continue on. It says verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land, right? They wasn't keeping the law, statutes, commandments in the land of Israel. So the Lord, as a prophecy, which we're going to get in the book of Jeremiah, sent them over to this land because this is the same land where we will be led away captive as an entire nation of people, and we will see the second coming of the Lord Yahushua. Reading on. It says, verse 43, and they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. So it says, through the country, them coming down from Euphrates River over on Eastern Hemisphere, right? And coming over to the Western Hemisphere, it was about a year and a half time. Now it's documented that Christopher Columbus said to travel the whole earth will be 3 years. To travel the whole earth, to go from Eastern to the Western, right, hemisphere, all across the so-called earth, right? It would take 3 years. So to do half that time, to come from the Eastern to the Western, half that time, it'll be what? It'll be a year and a half. Let's read that again. It says, for there, Slakia, verse 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. In the same region is called Arsareth. So there's a land that they went to. It's called the land of Arsareth. Let's pull up what the land of Arsareth is. Right? Let's see something real quick. If you don't know this, right, we're going to pull this up for you. So Arsareth. And we got this so-called, I'm going to show y'all. See if I can turn this camera. I don't think you can turn the camera. Come on. So it says Arsareth. This is out the so-called Jewish encyclopedia, right? It says Arsareth, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration. The time of restoration is when the Lord Yahushua returns. It says, according to 4th Ezra, which they really meant to say 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, that's what X3 and these 3 eyes mean, 13. X represent 10 in the numericals, the 3, right, represent 3, or the 3 eyes represent 3. The 45th verse, Columbus identified America with this land. So the land of Arsareth, this man Columbus used to link it up, right, and basically show him that this land is named Arsareth. This is the land of a so-called America today, right? So that's plain right there. Now, why is this the case? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. All right. So we just read how they came to the Americas, right out the book of 2nd Ezra. The same book that the so-called Catholic Church or the Protestant Church took away during the Council of Nicaea. They didn't want you to get this damn Apocrypha, and mine's jammed up, but you know they didn't want to get you let you get up in these prophecies, man. It reveals a lot. On the time of the destruction of America, verbatim, and the destruction of so-called life as you know it, in 2nd Ezra the 15th and 16th chapter, how the Lord Yahushua will return in 2nd Ezra the 7th chapter, or 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, right? How we got over here to this land in 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, it's like it as well, like we just read. Come on, man. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, the 16th chapter. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 14. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So the Lord said it, in these next coming times, we no longer gonna be saying how the Lord brought us up out of Egypt. Because we saying that right now in the land of America. But soon when the Lord returns and brings us and redeems us out of the land of America, that's what we're going to be talking about. Let's read on. That's going to be the new talk of town. That's going to be a new feast day. Verse 15. But Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. What is known as the land of the north? What land is the land of the north? Let's go to Zechariah. The land of the north. Let's see this. What land did the Lord call the land of the north? This is Zechariah chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 6. Zechariah 2 and 6. And that's why it's important to go precept upon precept. You might read the land of the north and like, what the hell is the Lord talking about? Yeah, you can link it up and say North America. You can say that, but you want to get the precept first. This is Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, said Yahweh. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, said Yahweh. So he said, flee from the land of the north. Now we're going to figure out what the land of the north is in the very next verse. Verse 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. So the daughter of Babylon, that's the land of the north. And we know what the daughter of Babylon is. That's America. America is the damn daughter of Babylon. Right, let's get that precept. Right? So the Lord said, we'll be delivered out of the land of the north. He said it was prophesied for us to be dwelling with the daughter of Babylon, which is America. And this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, and I'm going to start at verse 4. Revelation 17 and 4, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. Right, and purple is a color of royalty. So this woman was not a literal woman, but is representative of that harlot, America, right? Was this is the chiefest land out of all lands right now. Every nation looks at America as royalty, as the so-called cream of the crop, as Lucifer, the light bearer. Lucifer is not the spiritual demon Satan. Lucifer in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, is America, or chiefly the Edomites, which are the so-called light bearers of this earth. Every nation, every other nation looks at America, or so-called Esau, as the chief of the chief. And the chief of the lands is America right now, man. You got the so-called American dream. Man want to live out their damn fantasies and come to America. America is the cage of every unclean and perverse spirit. Right? It tell you that in Isaiah, the 19th chapter. Reading on. And Revelation, the 18th chapter. It says, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And she committed fornication with every nation of the earth. Every man of this earth, right? If you got ears to hear, every king of this earth committed fornication with America. Meaning it got down that league with. Whether it was through trade, whether it's through military alliances, every way, shape, or form, or different damn trades of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Americans, right? The slave trades. Every nation has held alliance with America. Russia previously was with America during World War II, and then they turned on them. Every nation has been with America. Japan, right, is with America right now, but during World War II, at the end of World War II, they damn dropped bombs on them. Imagine that, getting your damn country blown up by nuclear ICBM missiles and nuclear damn missiles. Or really, it was the original Fat Boy and Little Man, something like that. The original atom bombs. But now you damn in alliance with them. Imagine that. So every nation has had been hand in hand with America. Reading on. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. And it's a mystery to know who the virgin daughter of Babylon is. But to the men that seek these the law, statutes, commandments, the men that seek these deep sayings in the scripture, that get up in the prophecy, it's not a mystery no more, man. To all you that's watching this, it's not a mystery no more. We got the understanding of the truth. The only truth of the earth. Everything else is in lies and deceit and ruled by the spiritual demon Satan, but you got the truth of the Bible. Imagine that. The damn spit of the earth, man. The damn bottom of the earth, and the Lord is allowing us to get the true, deep mysteries of the entire earth. You watch these movies like National Treasury. Well, what the hell is that called? Da Vinci Code and all those type of movies that talk about these little hidden mysteries and whatnot. And they can use little, little blue light, black light, and shine things and things that's written in code. Hey, this is the thing that's written in code, man. And as so-called blacks, Latino, Native Americans, we got it, man. We got the light to shine on this thing, man. The true so-called black light. Right? Reading on. It says, mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman. And this is the mother of harlots because every nation has committed fornication with her. America's like that woman just got her damn legs open, man. Go to a damn house party, man. You see one brother coming out the damn bathroom with her. She's damn standing in the bathroom talking about come here. Right? That's American, man, with the damn Henny bottle in one hand, the cup in another hand, or got the cup down. Don't got the damn cup. Just taking it right from the bottle, man. That's America. It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh. So who's going to be the martyrs of the Lord? Chiefly, well, I won't say that, but America will have a lot of the Israelites is waking up right now are in America. Of course, we know we scattered in all the lands, as we just read the various precepts right before I brought this out. But nonetheless, it says that we'll be brought from the land of the north, which again, like we just proved, is Babylon, which is today America. All right. Let me see if I get another precept on this. Bear with me. Let me go back to Zechariah. Let me get another precept. Right. So this is what we got the understanding now, man. How the so-called Northern Kingdom came over to America. Right. And this is another precept. This is Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 20. It says, go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldees. And the modern day Chaldeans is the modern day Americans, man. These are the Babylonians of today. It says, with a voice of singing declare ye, tell this, utter it unto the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord have redeemed his servant Jacob, and the Lord will redeem his servant Jacob out of America. So with that, right, Lord willing, we touched on it. If you got any other breakdowns you need us to hop onto, we're going to hop onto it through the Spirit and build up that Cold Cuts channel. With that, I bet a strong shalom. The brother said hot grits for your breakfast. There you go. I bet a strong shalom, a mighty shalom to all the brothers that go out there and labor, and has literally been the chief or building a house of the Lord with the chief cornerstone of Yahweh. Literally going out there and laying the pavement, putting brick by brick, mortar by mortar, and getting this house built back up, man. The house of David. With that, but a strong shalom. Kwame Yasharala, continue to endure and watch for these prophecies.